Hi, and welcome back to the discussion of the props and the states, which is going to be a continuation from the previous one. We're not going to have like much on this one. I just want to show you a very basic graphical representation of what the props and what the states are as far the containers are concerned. So let's assume that the one with the green border over here is going to be our parent component, and we're going to give it just a name as a parent component. So a component can remain by itself, or it can have another component inside it that would be a child component. And we're going to give it a name as a child component. So the props and the states are going to be coming into the picture whenever we want to have a data associated with the component. So the props are going to be basically the ones which are going to be contained by the parent component most of the time, and they are going to be just passed around to the child component. So when the parent wants to send any of the data to the child, there are a couple of other ways, but the most common one is going to be just to pass it as a property or as props. So we're going to see this one in the examples, and that would make it cleaner, but you got the idea on this one. So when we are passing a data from the parent to the child, then one way would be just to pass it through the props. And that is going to be, by doing that, these props are going to be now a part of like a parent, but they are also would be a part of like the child when we want to pass them around. But there is also another concept that we have mentioned, which is going to be the states. So the state is going to be a variable per se that is going to be only maintained and going to be just kept by the component. So over here, we can have like the state, which is for the parent, and the parent's going to keep it for itself for any kind of validations or checking the values, or there are like most of the things that are going to be associated with the data, they're going to be just inside the state, as long as they want to keep that state on the variable. So the same thing, the state can also be, I mean, the child can also have its own state managed on its own, and then in this case, the state which is going to be handled by the child is going to be just for its own. It's not going to be shared by the parent or anybody else. And if this child has yet another component inside it, then it would be just a repetition of this one. It's going to pass a data from a child to its child, like this time it's going to be just a parent, then the same way using props. So this one is like a very simple graphical representation on how the state and the props are working or what they look like. Now it is about time, so we're going to go ahead and then see how the code is going to look like when we are actually using the properties and the states in the components.